Hey guys, it's Sam, and today I'm going to do a video on tips for getting into fitness for beginners. So recently I did a video talking about my personal fitness journey, so I'll link that on the screen for you to check out, and after that some people asked for some beginner's tips for how to get into fitness if you're into it as more of a hobby and not a sport or competing or anything like that. So because this is a fitness video, I'm coming to you post-gym in my gym clothes with a nearly bare face. I did some concealing and stuff because you guys don't want to see all of that, but mostly like a gym ready face because that feels more like in line with gym videos. And this disclaimer goes without saying, I am a fitness hobbyist. I am not a doctor, I'm not a coach, I'm not a personal trainer, I'm not anything like that. So I'm going to be giving you very hobbyist based tips. So the first thing I would recommend doing is to find the body type that you like or that you think is going to suit you best. So again, do this in a healthy way. Obviously, I'm promoting health and fitness in a way that you love your body, but I know that not everyone does love their body. There are times that I don't love my body, and trying to say that you need to love your body all the time, I feel like is kind of unrealistic. Like that's just, you're not going to love everything about yourself all the time. But if you're wanting to get into health and fitness and you're not really sure where to start, I think looking at bodies that you really like can be helpful. And for this, I'm talking more about athletes. So look at athletes and different sport categories, because this is the kind of fitness that you can then use to kind of plan your own fitness. So look at, I think it's really helpful to actually look at Olympians and some of those Olympian articles that show all the different body types. Again, you're not going to have an Olympian body, but you can see the kind of muscles and the kind of shape and everything that is shown via those sports, and then you can kind of mold your fitness plan based on that, knowing that you're not going to look as jacked as they are. They do this for their careers, basically, but that you can then kind of mold things from there. So for myself, when I first started getting into fitness, this was around 2011, 2012, when I first started looking into fitness. I actually stumbled across a couple of websites, but I was able to find some women that had a little more muscle to them. So I always really liked the Eliza Dushku's, the Jessica Biel in like Trinity, what is it, Blade Trinity or whatever, Blade 3. You know, Buffy when she's a little like more lean but has muscle. And for a while there back in the day, in like the early 2000s, people called that like toning. Now we know that you can't, I don't know if you do know this, but you can't like spot tone just certain areas. It's an all over body thing, but I knew that I liked a little bit more visible muscle. So from there, I was then able to look at different fitness routines that would kind of fit that category. So you then search for workouts based on that particular activity, which is why I think looking at Olympians is the best way to go about this, because then you can see, do you like marathon runners' body types? A marathon runner is going to have a very different body type than like a bodybuilder or power lifter or anything like that. Even a sprinter versus a marathon runner has a very different body type. So you can see what you like based on the activity that that person does. If you're looking to build muscle, doing a ton of cardio for a long time and not touching a weight is not going to be helpful to that. So you can kind of see what different routines might fit best. And again, I'm talking from like a weightlifting standpoint because I like weightlifting, but there are obviously other body types and different sports too. If you look and you see that you really like the way that the hockey players look, or the way that another sport, I can't think of all the sports that are in like the Olympics right now, but if you swimmers or something, like if you like that body type, then you know you can do those kinds of workouts. So you can search for beginners swimming routine, beginners basketball routine, something like that. You know, obviously like drills for different sports if you're going for like a more sport-based thing, rock climbing or something like that, or even just like hiking, whatever the case may be, just find a physical activity that you might enjoy. So again, that's kind of an offshoot of the original point, is make sure you're going to do a physical activity that you enjoy. So you can look at the runners and be like, oh, I'd really like to do that, but you know you don't like running, then you're probably not going to do that activity. Or if you don't like the gym, I would recommend trying it, because obviously there's things about the gym that a lot of people don't like, but I now love the gym and I used to be so intimidated by it. But if you're like, I don't really want to join a gym, I don't have the money to join a gym, I don't have the time to join a gym, you know, hiking or, you know, even just walking, whatever the case may be, you can do an activity that you enjoy, or even an activity that you can do with other people if you prefer classes or whatever. I didn't even mention like yoga. Obviously you can see like people that do yoga and Pilates, their bodies look different than people who run, and those bodies look different than people who weightlift, things like that. So when I first got into fitness, I actually found a website, I don't know how I did this, but I found a website called Nerdfitness, and that, I think I searched like video game fitness. So Nerdfitness is a great website, and I think one that a lot of you are going to enjoy because I know you like my content, so you like the things that I enjoy. They have a lot of content on how to like level up your life. So they really talk about fitness and health in like a video game type way. And they have a lot of really fun articles on like, you know, workouts for like different superheroes and like different video game characters and, you know, different like RPG classes. Like they had a whole thing about like rogues versus like paladins and like all of this stuff and all the different routines for that. So I definitely recommend checking them out. I'll link them down below if you're interested in that kind of like nerding in that kind of perspective of fitness, because I feel like it can definitely be more fun. When I got into fitness, I definitely, and I continue to look at it sort of as like a game, leveling up points, that kind of thing. I track my fitness because it really helps to have a tracker. So I have like a fitness tracker. I also use apps and stuff because seeing those numbers helps me. So find a technique, you know, workouts, but also tracking that is going to be helpful for you. Another resource that I personally use and that got me into fitness was Reddit. So I look at the fitness subreddit as well as the women's fitness subreddit, and that was really helpful too because there's just a wealth of information. There's even more information than when I first started. When I first started, Reddit was just into one certain kind of weightlifting, but since then it's really expanded to a lot of different things and a lot of different fitness routines and things like that. But that through Nerdfitness and through Reddit is how I found a lot of like photos and stuff of female power lifters and them, like women putting on muscle. And over the years I've really adapted my routine for that goal because muscle is what I strive for and strength is what I strive for. That leads into my next point. Find goals that matter to you. A lot of people come from initially an aesthetics type goal. So you want to lose weight or whatever. But I definitely recommend combining those two, and combining is helpful because a lot of people are like, you know, just do strength or performance goals because those are going to be longer lasting. That's true. But I did find myself that when I was just focused on strength goals, I wasn't seeing body changes either, and I want both. I want to look like I'm strong and also be strong. If I'm only focused on being strong, like I was really strong when I first started powerlifting, but I didn't change anything else about my routine, and so you couldn't tell that I was strong. And I'm like, no, if I can lift that amount of weight, I want to look like I can lift that amount of weight. So it's helpful to have both, in my opinion, because the body goals in particular can be really motivating at the beginning, but then the like strength goals and the performance goals or whatever sport it is that you do, those are going to keep you going for the long term. When maybe the body stuff is kind of leveled out or whatever, your performance goals are going to keep you going way past any kind of like body goals that you may have. So for myself, like I said, I want to be really strong, but I also want to look really strong. I'm touching my shoulders because I really like shoulder boulders. So I really like having like strong shoulders and strong arms. It's been the thing recently that I've been really like focused on because for the longest time I did general like full body routines, and a lot of routines that are based around like women are really focused on like glutes and hamstrings and stuff. And like my butt looks good even if I don't lift weights. Okay. I'm just genetically gifted in that way. But like I need to work on like my arms and stuff. And I really want like strong arms, back and shoulders. And thankfully like my back and shoulders like build up pretty well. But I just want like guns, man. Like this is looking pretty good, but like I just want like even more, you know, like I want even more to it. So that's one of my goals for like the next year for sure. I really started focusing more on my arms this year, my arms and shoulders, but I really want to like blast them over the next year. So like by next time you see me, it's like shoulder boulders, man. I can't even like fully, I can see it in my head, but I can't explain it to you. Like I want to have like guns, man. So yeah, find what works for you. Maybe you're doing yoga and you want to have like some flexibility goals, but also some like weight loss goals, or maybe you're doing yoga for like the mental clarity, whatever it is. I recommend having a number of different goals that aren't just body focused and aren't just performance focused, but are both. And then definitely write those down. So have somewhere where you're writing it down and you can track it. You're not just like, oh, I want to get healthier. Oh, I want to go to the gym more. Everyone says this, and it's true. Write down specific goals. Like, again, at the very beginning, I just was like very willy-nilly about it. Like, oh, I'll go work out, whatever. But you really need to like follow a routine, and don't make your own routine. Like I said, go and find a routine that works. It's like a beginner's routine. There are plenty of resources out there for different like weightlifting routines, starting strength, strong curves, or some of them, whatever. I don't want to talk about like just weightlifting, because I know there's gonna be people watching this that don't just weightlift. So I don't wanna go completely into that, but there are already routines out there. Don't make your own, just follow a routine. Until you're at least intermediate, you're not gonna need to like make your own routine or get a coach or anything like that. There's so many free resources out there for routines that are proven to work, that plenty of people have done, and that work really well and are well-rounded, that you don't have to do that whole math yourself. So again, write those kind of goals down, say and that you're gonna work out 3 times a week. Say they're gonna do this routine. A lot of routines will show you like through the weeks what you should do, so just follow that calendar and start with baby steps. With everything, start with baby steps. Again, you don't necessarily want to dive in head first. I kind of found out that I am an all or nothing person, so I did. If you're an all or nothing person, then you might want to do this as well. Like when I got back into fitness most recently, I dove into like 4 to 5 workouts a week because I needed the consistency, because myself, if I only work out 3 days a week, I'm more likely to skip because I'm like, oh, I can just do it later. But when I'm working out like 4 and 5 days a week, it's like you can't skip because there's not enough time to skip. So that's something that I know about myself. But really just start with small baby steps. Like don't change everything at once. If you're starting to work out, just start to work out and then change some of like the nutrition stuff or whatever. Like you don't need to get a ton of supplements right now. Like just start doing it, figure out if you like it, and then move on and like level up from there. So with your goals, again, when you're first starting out, take measurements, take photos, and if you are doing something weight loss wise, then also take scale measurements, but don't just take one, and don't just do the scale. The scale, progress photos, and measurements, like what tape measures around certain parts of your body, that's what you need to track. Especially if you're doing like weight training or building strength at all, muscle weighs more than fat, so you can sometimes not lose any weight on the scale and completely change your body composition so you're leaner and you look completely different. But if you're only focusing on the scale, you're like, I'm not losing any weight, I'm not succeeding at all, when in reality you are, because you'll be able to see it from either the photo or from the measurements. And there's been plenty of times where like 2 of those things for me don't change, but 1 does, and so you can see progress with all 3 things. So photos, measurements, and scale if you're using the scale. It's also important to evaluate your nutrition as well. Obviously, most people can eat healthier. I don't recommend necessarily going on a diet or cutting your calories or anything like that, but just look at your nutrition, look at how you're doing, and kind of figure out, do you at some point want to start tracking macros? Do you just want to start like, I want to eat vegetables 1 time a week, or at 1 meal a day, or whatever? Like that's always gonna help, to eat more like whole foods and like less processed junk. Like when I first started working out, and for the longest time, for like years, I didn't change anything about how I ate. I didn't watch anything about how I ate, and my body like didn't change at all because I wasn't fueling it for fitness, and I wasn't like at all aware of what I was eating. Like I had no idea. So I've been tracking my food for some time. I know some people can't do that because of disordered eating patterns in the past, and that's fine. I'm not recommending you necessarily do that, but if you are at all not aware of what you've been eating or how much you've been eating or what kind of nutrition's in your food, then I definitely recommend doing something like that. But again, doing baby steps. Like I've become more healthy nutrition wise in the last year. In 2018 is when I started actually eating vegetables. I didn't eat vegetables like until this year. I am not exaggerating. I would maybe eat a green bean on occasion. But now I eat broccoli, carrots, cauliflower, asparagus. Like I have radishes right now. I eat a salad at least once a day. Like I never used to be this person. So, and that started with me just taking baby steps the first part of the year. And I'll talk about this more. I'm doing like a fitness goal wrap up later on in the month. I started by just having a goal of drinking enough water per day. And there are plenty of apps where you can track this. There are bullet journal things that you can do to track this. You can track this every way you want. Drink enough water. Then I started saying I want to have vegetables with at least 1 meal per day, and I tracked that, and kind of adding up over time and then figuring out like what things are going to be best for your body. I always make sure I hit a certain protein goal because protein is how you build muscle. Like you kind of adapt these things. If you're running, you're probably going to need to have more carbs to fuel longer runs, stuff like that. So really figure out your nutrition. I feel like that's the last step though. If you're getting into fitness, just try to get into like the gym or whatever kind of routine that you want to do, and then add the nutrition things in slowly. Again, don't do it all at once. Don't say you're going to drink a ton of water, eat a ton of vegetables, and not have sugar all in the same week, because it's going to fail. And I've tried that before and it fails. When I've been doing these small 1 goal a month baby steps, these things have remained consistent now, and now it's just the way that I eat. So that is it for all of my very, very basic beginner tips. Comment below, let me know if you have similar fitness tips or if you have a similar fitness story or whatever the case may be. Also, let me know if you have any additional fitness type questions. I'm making this kind of like a fitness series here on my channel, occasionally talking about fitness related stuff. So comment below, let me know if you have any questions that you want me to go in more depth about anything fitness, nutrition related from, again, a hobbyist standpoint. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.